Sorry, excuse me. There we go. Hey guys, welcome to week 120 here on the Real TV Watchers. On Thursdays as always, I gotta use saying that. It's me, Tom, and the movie that I've chosen to review today is something that a lot of people think is a horror movie, but really it's more of a thriller. If you really watch this movie, you know what I mean. But it's still a fairly decent movie for what it was. I mean, especially when, you know, it's really easy to throw this into the realm of horror, especially with the really shitty remake. It's just this movie is so much more of a thriller, if anything, and it just makes for absolutely great movie. And that movie in question is The Stepfather. This is the original starring Terry O'Quinn. Terry O'Quinn, of course, from Lost fame. And this movie was directed by Joseph Rubin. And it was also written by Carol Lefcourt, Brian Garfield, and Daniel E. Westlake. And Daniel E. Westlake wrote the screenplay for this. So basically what's happening in this one is it's about this man, and we're not really sure what this man's name is, because it starts out with him in his bathroom, and he's completely giving himself an overhaul. He essentially looks like this, and eventually he turns into this. And of course he's got blood all over his hands, and just you can totally tell something's happened to him. And he's muttering to himself. But then when he finally gets out and he goes downstairs of his house, you just see his family's been massacred, and of course it's him that's doing it. And so from there, he pretty much essentially leaves his life, and he goes into this start off to find like this new life. And so from there we meet Susan, you know, who's the mom of this daughter named Stephanie. Stephanie is definitely your average 16-year-old. You know, she's just getting home from school. You know, and it's her and her mom, and you can always tell it's always been her and her mom. And so they just start, you know, playing around and stuff like that with the leaves, and all of a sudden they hear a car pull up and horn honk, and Susan's like, "Oh, that must be Jerry. Come on, honey, let's go see him." And so she rushes out to the car, and there's the guy who was at the original, was Terry O'Quinn, except now he's taken on the name Jerry Blake. He's assumed this new identity where he is a realtor. But of course, Stephanie, you know, her dad just died over a year ago. You know, she's just slowly starting to get back into this whole story. This is going to be my mom's new husband, and right from the get-go, she does not like him. There's something about him that just puts Stephanie off. Jerry definitely has his father knows best attitude. He's a realtor, but he's always talking about how he's trying to sell the American dream and how a family should live up to these things. And essentially, it pretty much this one guy who's the brother of Jerry's older wife from his past life, he's trying to hunt Jerry down to essentially avenge his sister's death. And that's essentially the movie, and also with Stephanie trying to figure out who Jerry is. So this movie is set up in your basic thriller way. Really, the person who steals this is Terry O'Quinn. And the weird thing is about this movie is that Terry O'Quinn doesn't like to talk about this movie. Because don't get me wrong, Terry O'Quinn is a great actor, but I guess he doesn't like being affiliated with such things as horror, because I know some actors really don't. They've done horror in the past when they first started out because they thought, you know, you had to pay your dues with horror. But in a way, horror has really started some big careers for people in the same way. But that's something I'll get into later. I want to talk about the cinematography in this movie for a minute. Who was the DP on this? It doesn't tell me who the DP was, unfortunately. But nonetheless, so absolutely great camera work. The dark tones used in this movie are absolutely beautiful. It's shot in a way that is truly suspenseful. Especially when Jerry's freaking out in the basement when things aren't up to his own code, if you will, of how a family should act or how neighbors should act. And really, it helps build tension, because the main thing about Jerry is whenever he's alone, there's always a sense of tension with him, and they do a really good job of trying to build upon that, because a lot of people think this is a horror movie. It's honestly not. Only like maybe, let's say a total of maybe 2 people die in this whole movie. Really, it's a story almost about Jerry's dementia and how he's so hardcore into the American dream, if you will. And so from then on, the direction comes into play, and the direction is just absolutely great in this movie. Working with someone like Terry O'Quinn must be like a director's dream. Don't get me wrong, because it really seems like you don't. He really seems like a method actor in the way how he approaches something. Like I could totally see him just like sitting down with people, you know, who are so high maintenance and how their family must be presented and all this stuff. I can see him sitting down with those families and just talking to them and getting to know them, getting inside their head and seeing what makes them tick. I mean, even with something as simple as Lost, you know, at the start where he was very much a man of faith rather than a man of science. It was really interesting to see him play that so much, and the way how him and Matthew Fox's character had to play off each other. I thought that was really good. And seeing Jerry play off of Stephanie in the way how they did it. For me, it was almost like a mirror of that, except Terry O'Quinn's character was far more insane and far more meticulous and far more believing in what he was doing, like to that scary extreme, you know. Yeah, the screenplay for this is absolutely great. It is a true thriller in the true sense of the word. You know, it's suspenseful at times. You know, and they know how it was really constructed really well, because a lot of this is based off of a true story of a man who actually did do a lot of things that are in this movie, which is scary in its own mind. But still, to build off something like that off a base of truth, yeah, a lot of people can do it. But sometimes I find when it's like based on a true story or something like that, it's never really up to par with a real situation. For me, this kept me entertained. This had me, you know, really wanting to go, okay, where is Terry O'Quinn going to go with this character? Because for me, that was the most interesting thing about this movie, seeing where he was going to go as an actor with this character. Yeah, for me, this movie is a great study of a character piece, if you will. Yeah. Yeah, I just totally lost what I was going to say. Well, but yeah, great movie. Definitely check it out. If I had to give Stepfather a rating out of 10, it would definitely get probably 6 or 7. I mean, there's still room for improvement, but yeah, but for a first low budget 80s thriller movie, really well done. Really well done. I just wish Terry O'Quinn would actually talk more about this movie, because he's absolutely riveting in this movie, and he's just a great actor all around. But still, for me at least, if you start off in horror or the thriller realm, if you will, you shouldn't be afraid to talk about it, because there's nothing wrong with starting off with it. It's launched a lot of careers. Also, some people really owe their whole movie career to horror. I mean, and thrillers. I mean, like look at someone like Lena Quigley. Without horror, she wouldn't really have a job. And you know, it's true. Also, Robert Englund. Robert Englund is a phenomenal actor. He's great in his non-horror stuff. But really, if it wasn't for, you know, like Eaten Alive by Toby Hooper and Nightmare on Elm Street, of course, where would his career be? He would not be as loved by as many people as would. And of course, someone like Bruce Campbell. Enough said there. But yeah, definitely check out The Stepfather. It's really great. So definitely check it out. So guys, that's the review for this week. I will catch you guys next week. Hopefully y'all enjoy this. If not, whatever. Have a good one, guys.